Jesus Christ, my head's spinning right now. I honestly do not remember how long it's been.
What year is it? What day is it?
I don't know. It's December apparently. How the frack did we get to December? How?
How long have we been doing this for? How long is the show?
How? I mean, how long is the show right now? Hasn't it just been renewed for series 14 or something?
13.
Oh, it's going. No, it's
yeah,
going,
13. 13.
That's the next. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're still.
That's
there.
not excluding the original series, obviously.
Oh yeah, we're not. We don't talk about that. Well, we can talk about that, but we don't.
We can. It's just not. There's not really much of a point.
We don't have to talk about those.
Yeah, we don't have to.
Oh, hey everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome back. Well, welcome to What's on the Tube, or welcome back. If this is your fourth Doctor Who series review, I hope you're all doing well. I'm joined by my co-host, who is not so typical always, but he's just George.
What's up? It is just George here.
It's been a while since we recorded one. It's been like a month since the last one we recorded.
Been a while. Yeah.
Yeah, we missed a week, but I'm gonna just chalk it up to like, oh, we were off for Thanksgiving. I'm just gonna chalk it off to that.
Yeah, sure.
It's fine. We're still on schedule.
What's the schedule?
We're still on schedule, man. I mean,
surprisingly, you do really well with your schedules.
Well, Arrow is. I beg to differ. You can blame Sal on that. Sorry, Sal.
Yeah, that's Sal's fault. You, I'm saying, are good.
Oh yeah, I'm still trying to produce the quick impressions as quick as I can. Still quality wise, still quality. It's just saying like as quick as I can, but my feet are warm. Anyway, yeah, guys. So we're back. We are here. We're at series 4, the final series of David Tennant's run, but it's not the end of him. But we'll get to more on that later.
We'll make like one or two more videos on David Tennant.
We'll talk about that in the end. But
right? Yeah.
George, it's been a while. It's kind of weird how like about a month, well, more than a month ago for us, we began talking about David Tennant. It's just been about David Tennant. Like,
I know.
Not to give spoilers at the end of this one. I feel like David Tennant's time felt very much longer than what we got. Like, it's only 3 series and a few specials. Like, but it felt way longer than that.
I know. It's a very it's a saga, if anything. You know, it's he was just such a good doctor that, like, you know. Yeah, it stays with you. That's what David Tennant feels like. He stays with you. His performance, his character,
his charisma.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough beating around the bush, George. Let's get down to it right away because it's been a while. I don't want to talk about it. It's been a very long. I think I wrapped this up. I think a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
When we're recording this, so it's been a little bit, but I still barely remember most of my opinions. So no sweat on that. But with that being said, George,
I have like a episode list over right here.
That's good, so you can keep me in line. But anyway, George, as always on this show, let's start up with the age-old question. Was Doctor Who Series 4 worth the binge? Is it worth sitting down for another... Okay, let me finish. Is it worth sitting down for 14 hours? And watching...
Certainly. Unlike Series
3,
this one was just like, yes. Like, hit after hit after hit. Some missteps.
I feel like they improved a lot on what we were both kind of criticizing about Series 3. I think they improved a lot of that in Series 4 in the right direction. I feel like this could have very well been Series 3. Not to say Series 3 itself was a waste of time. What happened?
You think so?
Oh, yeah. I feel like had we just... Because, okay, Miles, the companion this year is Donna Noble. So if we had picked up with the last Christmas, like the Christmas special before this one, I feel like that would have been a very nice, seamless transition to a potential third, like another version of Series 3. But I'm kind of glad they didn't do that right away. It kind of helped more in the character when we pick her up and like when we actually properly begin the series, omitting the Christmas special. But but
Donna gets way better in this season. Despite her not being my favorite companion, I do think that this whole season, it was the best one so far, at least of what we have reviewed.
Yeah. Let's discuss it more. But right now, I think I do agree with you. This is probably the best we're seeing so far of our review series. Right? I think this is the best so far.
Yeah.
It's hard. Like, yeah. So. What fuck? Sorry for cursing. I'm trying to like think. I want to talk about the spoiler stuff, but like we're in the spoiler-free section right now. What did you think of the whole? What did you think of the Doctor like you briefly touched upon this when we were doing the Series 3 review, and now here we are, we're finally at the Series 4 review. You touched a little bit on the Doctor and Donna, how they were more different than the Doctor and Rose and Doctor and Martha.
Oh,
what
yeah,
do you think
certainly.
of their overall connection, the overall general connection this season between the two of them?
Yeah. No, it was great. It was friendly. They do have, I don't want to say chemistry. What's the word? Camaraderie? Donna does care about the Doctor, but like she can't help but bicker with him.
Yeah, well, yeah, because they're two. Like she has a very, I guess because she's a more, and I don't want to sound so pornographic about this. She's more mature than Rose and Martha. Rose and Martha were in like their early 20s. Yeah, but she's like what, like late 30s, around there.
Yeah, I want to say like 30s.
And the last two were like in their early 20s, so it's like a fairly different. You've had more experience. You've seen a lot of people. She's definitely been through some stuff before becoming a doctor companion. So I think that definitely helped her be a much more different character. And then eventually a companion when they eventually start their own journeys together. But I really dig. I dig their
dynamic. They're dynamic. There we go. They have a good dynamic, and like it gets annoying sometimes. I'm gonna be honest. The Doctor and Donna, mostly Donna, they're bickering. It gets freaking annoying. Like. That's why I don't like Donna all that much, because she just doesn't stop.
I think if she...
But, with that being said, what held me in this season, what made her a lot more tolerable for me was her character arc. Like her... When we first see her, she's in a really shitty position. But, like, I was just like, yeah, alright. Cool. And, like, you feel bad for her, sure. But in this, you get a whole season's worth of character development out of her. Exactly. And that's really cool. You get to see her grow, and I really liked that. Her go-getter attitude, she's very motivated. She's very... I don't know if... charismatic's not the right word. What's another word for motivated?
Empowered or determined?
I guess empowered. Yeah, determined. She seems very determined. She's very set and she is very confident. And it's those aspects of her character and her overall like development, which it's all those things that make me more willing to watch her as a companion, I like Donna. I just don't like her as much as the others. Because she can get annoying. That's really it, though. She has a good character, though.
I do agree with you on that. But where I have to disagree with you is kind of like a brief, like we'll jump ahead a little bit to the rank the companion section. I think she's better than Martha. I don't think she's better than Rose. I think she just is in that spot where she is what I wanted the next companion to be after Rose, but she obviously wasn't another Rose. She was something different, and she had her own different character development, considering that these are two separate characters in two different stages of life, meeting the Doctor, going on these adventures, and then the development and growth we see out of each of them individually. It just depends on like where their background came from, and I feel like Donna's in this one came out much more natural than we've seen in the previous companions.
Yeah, you're right in that aspect where like this companion is just allowed to be a companion, and like I just feel like the one fault that they make about it is like they make a little bit of a big deal about it, where she's like, it's not like I like you like that though, and it's just like, yeah, we get it.
They made jokes about that earlier on this series about like everyone who like brings them up like as a group, as a pairing, they just immediately assume it's a romantic pairing, and they're like, oh no, we're not.
Like,
we're not.
We get it.
It kind of got
you
annoying.
Don't want to bone him.
But it got annoying.
You don't have to say it more than once. You know what I mean? It's just like, because you know what? Going off of the classic series, I know we just talked about how like it's not as relevant to this review, the classic series, but like the Doctor has never been romantically interested in a companion before.
In the classic series.
So, like, this is not having a companion that the Doctor isn't romantically interested in is not a new thing. But this show treats it like a new thing. This show makes a big deal out of it, when it really shouldn't be. At least in my opinion.
I feel like they
I know you disagree with me on it. Half the fan base disagrees with me on it. But it's just distracting for me. I'm just like, I get it. You know, like, you don't have to bring it up.
I mean,
just go with it, you know?
Oh, no, yeah,
then again, like I said, you know, Donna, her as a character and where she goes throughout this series, that is strong enough to, like, keep me watching it. It's not like it was... I'm nitpicking here, let's be honest. This is just me being like, eh.
Well, that's
you know, like, I love everything, but this one little thing.
It's fine to nitpick. I mean, it's a television show that you care about passionately, and I'm just starting to, like, really, pardon my French, give a shit about.
Yeah, fair enough.
You're allowed to nitpick. You're allowed to do that, and
yeah. Thank you for letting me on your show.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Hold on, I'm going to reduce your volume a little bit. It's fine to do that. It's fine, but I feel like again in this modern era, like, it's not surprising that, like, the main male and female characters would have some sort of romantic interest in each other, because that's modern television for you. And
that was fine. The way that they did it with Rose was great. It was fantastic. You know, with Martha, it was just like, you know, like, you don't have to be in love with him, but that's her character, you know, like, we talked about that in the Series 3 review. Like, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. With Martha, Donna, thank you. Martha Donner. With Donna, it's just like, all right, I'm getting a little sick of this, like, TV bullshit, you know?
I mean, you're right.
Be honest, Joseph, that's what it is, you know?
Yeah, but I guess they were just trying. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on in those writers' room when they're, like, pitching these stories.
Fine, you know, like, and again, like, it's not distracting from the show. Well, no, it is. But like, it's not the worst thing in the world. It really isn't. Mm. Again, it was just a little bit distracting. That's what I mean to say.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Let me ask you one last question before we get into the spoiler section, because I really want to talk about some elements from that.
I know.
What did you just
Dude,
say?
honestly, I think this series is so good that we should just go episode by episode.
Yeah, no, we're
we might as well, right?
I feel like I remember majority of them. I think we're gonna have, like, a little bit to say about everything, especially the final.
At least a little bit to say about everything.
Oh yeah, of course. But my last question for you,
one, let's be honest.
No, yeah, of course. But my last question for you before we get to non-spoilers, and this is more like a vague spoiler, but, like, when we get that scene in the first episode, like, did you know, like, when we were reviewing, like, the ending of Series 2, like, at the end of, like, the first proper episode, we got that cameo. Did you know about that when, like, I was confessing, like, we're never going to see these two characters again together on the screen? And you were like, did you know? I'm going to go get Tia in a minute, but you can still talk. Like, did you know? Like, it's like, oh, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Go on. You can go.
Yes, I did know about that. I completely forgot about that moment in the end of the first episode of the series. Wow, you just reminded me of it. I have not seen that first episode in a while. It's fun. That episode is great.
We're going to talk about that soon. But before we hit the spoiler section, I just have to...
You're right. I totally forgot about it. But yes, no, yeah. Joseph, there's so much in this show that is going on that you don't even see right now. It's great. I love it.
Well, we'll get there eventually.
We will. I want you to ask me questions, and that'll give you vague answers to.
Maybe at the end when we wrap up this journey. Anyway, all right, let's get down to it. All right, so Joe, before we hit the spoiler section, my last thing for you, would you recommend Series 4 to people? You know,
if you've watched Series 1 through 3 already, it's worth it. You know, you might as well finish it. You don't have to keep watching it after Series 4. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Mm-hmm. To be honest, like, some fans are just like that. They're just like, yeah, after this Doctor, I kind of stopped giving a shit. And, like, I'm just like, yeah, fair enough. You know, like, the end is very conclusive. If you want all of the loose ends to be wrapped up, there you go. Yes, it is worth watching. It is worth a binge.
It's worth the it's worth the binge.
It is just great. It is just awesome.
No, this series was definitely awesome, and I would definitely recommend this. This definitely felt like the conclusion to Russell Davis's original revival run. This is the end of his trip. This is the end of what he was planning for these 4 series, and by the end of it, it worked out mostly for the best. And
this was his vision. It was all wrapped up really nicely.
Mm-hmm. Nice little toe with some very loose things to like keep going. But anyway, that's it. That's the spoiler-free section. So again, if you are unaware, you can go watch Doctor Who Series 4 on HBO Max. All episodes are on there right now. Go watch it before we jump into spoilers. We're going to spoil the hell out of you. But if you already watched it and you're good to go, we'll give us a few seconds. And as for you people who haven't seen it yet, go watch it. It's on HBO Max. All right, that's your last cue. I don't know where George went off camera, but okay, last call, everyone. 3, 2, 1. All right, Jared, let's go in order here. The SS Titanic in space.
It was okay. Keep going.
Let's go.
The Titanic in space.
I feel like that was a fun episode. It was just.
It was fun. Yeah, it was cool. I literally watched it once. It's a Christmas special. You're used to the Christmas specials by now. They're supposed to be fun. You're supposed to watch it on Christmas Day. And it's just supposed to be like, yeah. It's Christmas, guys. Let's have some fun.
No, oh yeah, of course. Like this definitely did not unlike the last Christmas special, like the last 2 Christmas specials that have some meaning to the story. This one, at least you can prove me wrong or just say a side. Nah, I don't think this was just a side adventure. This wasn't meant to like expand the lore or anything. I mean, it was cool to get another Titanic in space. I don't know why people keep building more Titanics. I don't know why.
I don't know why people keep naming their ships the Titanic in fiction.
Makes no sense.
What do you think is gonna happen?
You're gonna crash, which this almost did. But yeah, no. I feel like the only few things I can mention.
I don't even remember that much from it, to be honest. I just saw it once and I was like, all right, cool. It was fun.
What I remember is like, well, the key thing is that again, this is a established universe where we get that scene with the in London, like the brief time, one of the only times we went to London this special, and they talked to like one of the marketers, and he said, "Oh yeah, everyone's cleared out of London because the last 2 Christmas." Is like, yeah, the first year there was like an alien invasion, then the last year there was a whole Death Star kind of thing. Like everyone just said, "Fuck it, we're going to the countryside." There ain't no way aliens are gonna come to us in the countryside. I'm like, fair point. That's a fair reasoning.
Fair point. Yeah, alien invasions in Doctor Who get kind of weird after Russell T Davies' run.
I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be generally surprised. But the other thing I remember is like how very much this had a very evil corporate message behind it, because I think one of the earlier scenes we got in the special was like this like looping like commercial message from like the CEO or the president about how like, oh, we're good guys, we're like, we're providing a value business service, and then at the end of the special, oh, he's a villain. Why am I not surprised?
Oh no, he's a villain.
And the companion for the companion for this one, wasn't she like a very popular singer in Europe? From what
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if she was like either a popular singer, popular actress.
I don't know. If you don't know, I don't know, man. I don't know. But she seemed like a very cool one, and the Doctor really took a liking to her, like off the bat. I feel like they were very much inclined, like, yeah, come with me on my adventures, because I think she was just like a normal lower minimum wage employee that like basically had nothing else to do with her life. Sounds familiar, but
literally, like, sorry to interrupt, but I feel like literally any like side adventure for the Doctor, like, I'm sorry, do you hear my background noise?
I can't hear anything about your background. I can just hear you.
Cool. Yeah, I feel like any Doctor Who episode that had like a one-off companion, and you've seen tons of those episodes so far. I feel like any of those episodes could end off with the Doctor being like, "Hey, want to come along for my adventures?" And the companion would just be like, "Sure."
Why not?
Like, yeah, like, that they're a character. They do good. That's it.
Yeah, and then it was kind of sad the way that this story ended for her. Kind of sucked a
How
little
did
bit.
it end? I don't remember.
She died.
Oh,
Like she
oh,
sacrificed herself for the doctor, and it kind of like reminded her again about like people keep sacrificing themselves for him, and I guess he wasn't still ready to like get an. I guess he wasn't ready for like another companion at that moment. But it was a
yeah,
fun side adventure. It was just a fun like Christmas adventure.
I could see that. All right,
Moving on to the actual
Partners in Crime.
series 4. Yes, Partners in Crime, the proper debut. This honestly felt like this could have just been like the solo Doctor adventure. It kind of had that theme to it. Then we got Donna, and there's like, all right, Donna's part of the series.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. It's like a solo Doctor adventure, right? But then, like, you just throw Donna into it. This episode I actually thought was kind of fun. Again, it has those missteps where I'm just like, hey, you just shut up already. Both to the Doctor and Donna.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it was fun, I was like, oh, man, look at this. They're being a bad guy that's using fat to destroy the world.
Yeah, it was weird because like the whole
It
premise,
was really weird.
the premise is fine. It was like, okay, so this pill creates these alien-like creatures with your fat.
Yeah.
That's really creepy.
You're fat. It's a great fat slot.
It is, but you die after that.
Yeah, it's a great dietary plan.
Yeah, die.
But
Die.
yeah, die.
It.
Die. It.
Not the movies, but yeah, but that was kind of a weird thing. But I feel like the overall premise did help get the Doctor and Donna back together after I think it was like a year after the events of their like the last time they saw each other.
Yeah, I love that little moment where where they're like against the glass on each other, like not on each other. Where
No,
like
he was across the glass. She was on the glass door.
yeah, it was so funny. Like, oh my god, like the Doctor's just like, get the fuck out of here. Why are you here? And she's like, look, I'm here. We're together again. Isn't this great? And just like.
Yeah, she was
damn.
very overeager because when we eventually found out like she was traveling the country to like hopefully eventually run into the Doctor and then like finally he's here and it's like she's so excited like yes finally he's here he's like right there I see him he's not in the TARDIS he's like here he's like he's not gonna get away from me again
like that was fun this episode was fun. I liked it. On a side note, the adipose, the little like fat blob creatures. Do you know how many fucking plushies there are of that?
Millions, I'm assuming.
It became one of the... For some reason, this little alien creature that showed up in one episode became one of the most popular things ever.
Well, it's cute, it's huggable, it's plushable. It means money.
It is. I've wanted to buy one before.
I'm not surprised.
But yeah, no. Partners in Crime, it's great.
It's great, fun. And okay, the villain stuff is kind of like okay, that was fine. Not really. It was kind of weird, product placement, I guess, for future toys. I guess. But I feel like the most important part of that episode came from the final moments when we get. Yes, we get. No. First, the scene that always gets me is that as soon as they wrap up their adventure, the Doctor's like, "Okay, I'm ready to leave now," and Donna's like, "No, TARDIS." Like she's like,
yeah, let's go.
She's like, finally, I'm getting on that TARDIS. Her car is packed, ready to go with all of her fucking luggage, all of her belongings. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this woman has.
I know, right?
This woman has not been living her life for the past year, because she's been hopeful.
I know.
I don't know if that's a stalker or desperation, or it could be both. I don't know.
Could be both.
It's very weird. It was a weird element they threw in there, but I'm like, you know what? Something different, She's very super overeager to be with the Doctor. Mm-hmm. And he's like, fuck it, why not? I mean...
Yeah, it's fun, let's do it.
I think he needs...
I keep saying that word, but yeah, no, it's yeah.
Yeah, but
I like that episode.
But then the scene I was hinting to you about during the spoiler-free section... that she went back to use the payphone to contact her mom. Okay, this is the moment. I gotta go. Can you just pick up the car from this area? And then she's around that area, and then she sees the returning Rose Tyler. She's back. Only for this brief cameo for just a small snippet. I'm like, oh fuck, she's back.
I know.
What does this mean? Like, what? Why? I mean, isn't she stuck in another dimension? I'm like, I want to know more, but then they left that alone for a while. Good thing. It would have been annoying if they had like constantly stretched that out. It would have gotten annoying.
Yeah, it would have.
Thankfully, it was just like a small tease. Yeah. But then the last moment of this episode that really kind of gave me like a little bit of a smile is that so earlier on we got scenes with Martha and her grandpa. I think it was. Was it her grandpa or her dad?
Yes, her
grandpa.
Wait,
was it grandpa? I think it was.
Yeah, her grandpa. Her grandpa.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, they were talking about going on the TARDIS, about meeting the Doctor again, about going on these adventures, and he was a very supportive grandpa. I was like, oh, maybe one day you will. And then as soon as like they're about to travel, and then like they briefly pass by the house, and he's in his like telescope, and he sees them. It's like he's so happy. I'm like,
he's like, yeah,
yeah, go be with that Doctor. Go. And then the next episode, the fires of. I'm gonna be a horrible Romanian accent. Pompeii. We get that guy. The guy. Yes, that guy.
That guy.
He looks very familiar. I mean, I think I've seen him in posters before. I think he's gonna be in the Suicide Squad movie, but he looks very familiar.
Yeah, he's gonna play the Thinker, right?
The Thinker, yes, he's gonna play.
Yeah, that guy. Peter Spalding, right?
Spalding? Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Sure.
This
episode was fun. You know, it was a good first adventure for Donna. You know, like it's her first time traveling, going somewhere very far away with the Doctor. So that's cool. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. Like the only real thing that sticks out in my mind about that episode is the ending.
Because the moral message of this episode
really emotional in the end. I was like, "Damn, okay."
Well, yeah, but it made sense.
At first,
but it made sense. He couldn't interfere with history. And the other thing is that this is a set event, and that's kind of the theme of this episode. Where even though it is kind of like a filler episode, they gave like minor expedition for future stuff. The thing that was questioning about this episode is that even though Donna only knew him from 2 adventures by that point, generally the Doctor always saves the day. He saves the people. And this episode is like, no, we have to let them die. We have to let history run its course. And that kind of goes against what Donna was thinking about the Doctor, as well as just a normal human being. Like, we know they're all going to die. We got to save them. And he's like, no, just let history happen. And I feel that was a nice moral argument between the two of them. And it didn't exactly...
It was.
It definitely already solidified, like, this is not another Doctor and Rose or another Doctor and Martha, where they were like always with the Doctor, always like 100% on board with him. This was like already Donna's like, no, you're wrong. This is not how we should do it. We need to find another way. And
it is certainly like one instance where like their dynamic really worked well. The idea of them opposing each other all the time is fine. It got a little out of hand, sure, with their bickering, but this is one moment where it really worked. It really worked, you know, and Donna's actress. Forgive me if I forget her name. We're gonna have to edit that in a little bit.
It's Catherine
Tate. Catherine Tate. There we go.
Tate. I don't need to edit anything. I watched The Office. I still remember her name.
Yeah. Sadly. No, like she just did such a great job acting in this. You see her. She's really desperate. You know. She's really desperate. Just like, Jesus Christ, just save one person, you know.
And he did. He saved the family.
And he did.
Peter Spalding.
Yeah, he saved that actor.
Peter Spalding's actor. He did an amazing job.
Yeah, Peter Spalding. There we go.
Yeah. Well, if any family has to survive, I'm thankful that it's him, you know.
Yeah, right?
They seem like a nice family.
Yeah. And, you know, like, again, it's interesting you bring up that moral argument, right? Because, like, you know, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but hey, this is more like a lore in the Doctor Who universe, not really a spoiler necessarily. The Time Lords, they always, you know, you hear a little bit about them in the Series 3 finale, so you can kind of get the idea of who they are. They're very sophisticated, and they have time travel and space travel. Their main rule was that, like, you can time travel, you can space travel, you can even go to other dimensions if you want to. You can go anywhere you want as long as you don't interfere. You have to be invisible. You know, you can only watch history because it's supposed to happen. We're not supposed to mess with it. You're supposed to learn from it.
Exactly. Yeah. No, you're right.
And like that's the thing the Doctor always talked about, how like that's what made him different. He wanted to see more. He wanted to do more. He wanted a more interactive experience with the universe.
Mm-hmm. And and he did, and it definitely that episode, even though it was like kind of pale in comparison with the rest of the storyline, it very much did.
That's the thing. He has this moment where he's just like, no, he still has his like boundaries. You know, he's just like, I'm not supposed to mess with this. You know, like he's a line, but you know, Donna shows that like you can still do something.
Exactly, and I feel like that was like a good sign that like Donna was beginning to rub on the Doctor, in her own way.
Mm-hmm.
And the other last thing we should take away before we move on to the next 2-part story, it's a throwaway line, like one of the psychic connector people. I forgot the name of that group's name. They just said like they gave very arbitrary meanings for the Doctor and Donna was like, the one who has that thing on your back. I'm like, what's on her back? What's on her back?
Oh, wait, what are you talking about?
So there was a line when I think Pompeii was like not the eruption, but like one of the minor quakes of the eruption. One of the cult ladies, I don't remember their names exactly. One of them had they had they could like see through people, not in like an X-ray vision, I just meant like and see through their minds and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. They called the Doctor like a Time Lord, something like that, and they called Donna like the one who has that thing on her back. And I'm like, I was confused, like what does she have on her back? I mean, she looks fine. What's the problem here? Obviously, it's like kind of like a tease, like they did with the face thing back in series 3 with the whole like alone thing, kind of like a little tease, cryptic tease. You don't remember? Mm-hmm. You don't remember that?
I don't remember. Did we talk about the Face of Bo last video?
We did last time. Yeah,
we did, right? That really fucked with me.
That it did. It was
like, damn, that's sad.
That it was. I kind of miss him that he wasn't in this series, because he kind of had like a recurring like once in a series thing, and that he was just he wasn't here this series. It sucked.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you have the episode list next to you.
Yes, I do. 1 second.
So the next thing was the 2-parter where Martha comes back. I think I got the episodes right on that. Okay.
So the next episode that we got
was the 2-parter.
No, it was Planet of the Ood.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, oh my god, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, funny. I did too.
Yeah,
I don't remember shit about this episode. Want to skip it?
It was the same thing, like the special like corporate America type references. Like they just enslaved the entire population for their own means, and obviously, like anything, you know, it comes back to bite them. I vaguely do not remember a single thing from this episode, to be honest with you.
Fine, I still like the Ood. They're cool.
Do they come back after this, or was this their last appearance?
Yes, they do.
Oh, thank God. Okay, so okay. How about that? We skip this one, but the next episode with the Ood we talk about, we will review it. We will talk about it properly. So, right. Is it in the specials, or is it just like in a future series?
This is their biggest appearance. I believe it is.
Which one?
Yeah. I believe this episode is like their biggest appearance.
Okay, but we're gonna see them again.
Front of the story, you know, like they've like appeared in other episodes.
Okay, then that's fine. We'll talk about
one of the specials that you're talking about. They are in it. Okay. And after that, they're really only like a background thing. Like we're all right. We need to get a shot where there's like a lot of aliens put in Ood in the background. You know.
Fair. So, easier to just
like a Russell T Davies thing.
Okay, that's a fair thing to point out. But then we get the 2-parter.
Yes, I loved this 2-parter.
It was awesome. This was kind of like a mini crossover.
Awesome.
The last companion and this companion on this, like another. Why was there so many corporate like things about this?
No, right?
Yeah, because like the last episode we got enslaving Oods for a business. Now we're putting in these. I forgot. Like it was something with aerosol, but I forgot what the reasoning was. It was for the alien invaders. What was it again? What was the reason why they did the spray in the cars? I forgot what it was. I forgot. But not. But that was an interesting two-parter.
I know, it was so cool. I love that episode, man. Like, dude, this is the first time. In case you did not know, the Suntarans make their first revival appearance in the revised series. They are a classic Doctor Who villain. They're one of the big villains for the third Doctor, and sometimes they fought the fourth. And like, they're so cool. They're potato heads. they're just like they're like a stupid ass species that wastes all their money on war and fighting. I love them and how stupid they are.
And they picked Earth next. Really poor choice. Really poor choice.
Yeah, it's great. Like, man, they're so cool. And this is probably like the only episode in the revitalized series in which they're actually intimidating, in which they're an actual threat. We will see Suntarans in the later on, especially in Stephen Moffat's. You know, it's not like they're an actual villain or anything. They're just kind of there. Again, kind of like the Ood.
Mm-hmm.
But no, this episode was awesome. I love it.
Oh, yeah, just to see
kid character.
It was cool. No, you were right. Especially seeing Martha and Donna actually get to collaborate and get another companions meeting each other and kind of getting a much more different this is how I do things with the Doctor, and then there's the other way of this is how I do things with the Doctor. That sort of approach. And I think
Martha's character was way stronger in this episode.
Oh yeah,
than in most of series 3.
It's weird. Honest. That's the weird thing. Marva was much more. I wasn't enjoyable. She was a good character, but she's more. How do I say? She's more.
I feel like she has more range.
She has more range. She definitely feels like something more than another Rose copy or just
right. I feel like there was actually something to her character.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, it makes good on the promise from last series that oh hey, I'm just a phone call away, and the first scene is she literally called him hey, we need you here, we got a problem here.
I like that, and again, this is also the first appearance in the revitalized series of Unit. Unit is
you brought that up last one was it the second one or the third series that you brought it up? It was the second series.
Second.
Yeah, you brought it up during that review. There's another similar organization like the what was
Torchwood.
Which one?
Torchwood.
Yes, Torchwood. It's similar, but they're not So this is Unit.
Exactly. This is Unit. This is the classic companion to the Doctor. During the third Doctor's run, the third Doctor was actually exiled to Earth. So he was stuck on Earth while aliens invaded Earth. He was stuck on Earth for a while, basically. That's all you gotta know. During that time, while he was stuck on Earth, he became friends with most of the higher rank officers in Unit, which is the British Unified.
Yeah, you would know about this more. I don't know.
UNIT Intelligence. I stands for Intel. Whatever. Unit. They are the UK's professional alien busters or dealers. Anything alien they deal with. Which it's funny how Torchwood is the thing where it's just you already had this. But Torchwood is bad, guys. Torchwood is bad.
Well, they weren't. They were bad, but then they became good. I mean, we got Captain Jack to thank for that.
And Unit, they're kind of assholes in this episode too. So that's Unit was run. The guy who ran Unit was a big character in the classic series. He was very popular. Sadly, he never gets the chance to show up in the revitalized series. His actor passed away during Stephen Moffat's run. They wanted him to show up, but he just never got the chance to.
That sucks.
Yeah. But it's okay because Unit, they show up a lot after this.
Mm-hmm.
They are a thing after this, and it's great. I love Unit. They're cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, this episode was just awesome. I love last thing. I just love the moment in the end of the first part. In the end of the first episode of this two-parter, where they're just like Santarha, 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 and like the kid, they end up getting the kid to join. Like it's kind of creepy, but it's also like kind of funny. It's like, oh man, this is oh god, oh god.
Oh yeah, I feel like the most. I think that wasn't the creepiest part for me. The creepiest part when they made the Marfa clone, and I'm like, what the hell? They got
Yeah, that
cloning
was pretty
technology
weird.
now. Oh god.
Yeah, they've always had cloning technology. The Santarans, all of them are clones. They're cloned in like batches.
Oh boy.
They're like, all right, this section of the army, this platoon is cloned from this guy. This platoon is cloned from that guy.
What is this? The Clone Wars or something?
Yeah.
Oh boy. I did not mean to bring that reference, but okay, why not? Well, for
Hey man, I just watched Mandalorian just a few days ago.
oh cool, I did. Too.
Fucking awesome. I love that show.
Yeah, but that's another.
That's
show
another. Yeah, that's
another show, another year, another time period, future us. Let them deal with that. But correct me if I'm wrong. Was this the episode where Martha advised to Donna about the whole like, oh, eventually you want to consider having like a life after the Doctor, and this it's either in this two-parter or the next episode. I think it's in this two-parter.
It was this two-parter.
Yeah, where she advises her, oh, you should like maybe think about like, you know, this isn't forever. This is like a more temporary gig. And Don's like, no, this is my life forever. Like, why would I go back to my old life? Why would I go back to just being a schmuck on the face of Europe? Why would I still do that when I could be all over the world, all over time, all over space? Which makes sense. I mean, again, Donna, even by this point in the story, like she's starting to. I think she's just starting to like be in denial of like what she is really, because like all she really cares about now is just this current thing, but now she's not thinking about her own personal life, which yeah, the Doctor is not going to be around her life forever. Well, you know, not a spoiler at all for the end, but that's kind of the way how I approach it though. Like I guess if like certain events didn't happen, I guess Donna would have just sticked around forever, you know.
Yeah,
but you know, well, things will happen, but like, you know, it was kind of very like a nip in the tongue of how things will turn out later on.
If anybody is worried about like my hand placement, don't worry. My leg keeps itching for some reason. I keep scratching it. I don't mean to look suspicious.
He's not doing anything suspicious. Like, I've known this man for like 6 years by this point, so he's.
I'm sorry.
He's got that. He's got that.
My leg is really itchy today. I don't know
in
why.
my mouth, in my mind. But we're not done with Marfa just quite yet. She's joining us on one more adventure to the future. I want to say, is it the future? Like, yeah, it's the future, right? Where we get to meet. Yep. Oh god, this is so weird to say. It is so weird because I did background research for this episode. Like, wait, so they're in the show, they're dad, but then in real life they're dad. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So
it's weird. The next episode, the Doctor gets cloned, but not like a regular clone or anything. This clone comes out as female, and because she's fairly young, she refers to him as Dad. And I believe she has memory. Does she share some of his memories or no?
I don't think they have that connection. Like they obviously have that father-daughter connection, somewhat, but I don't think they ever made it clear that obvious that they have, or she never brings up the fact like, oh, I know some of your memory. That's like another thing later on.
Okay. Yeah, no, that episode was cool. About the companions that you bring up, sorry, just so I don't forget. About companions, either with companions, they either leave and have like a nice, fun, and cool life like Martha.
Mm.
They get ditched by the Doctor, like Sarah Jane, the classic companion.
Yeah, we know that. We know about her already.
Or Captain Jack. Or you die.
But we haven't seen anyone die yet. Well, okay, the last one is debatable, but we'll get to that when we get to the end of that
in the
story.
classic series. It's happened before.
Oh boy!
Thank
God, we're not reviewing that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing with the Doctor. It's just like, this is often a thing that people complain about in the series. That's all I'm gonna say.
All
the
right.
topic
we'll see
discussed more. A lot. You know.
I get. I mean, I don't know anything about like what we're gonna see later on, but I guess all I can say is that I guess it's just the story they want to tell with those characters and how they think it should end up. So, we'll see how that goes. But anyway, so back to this one. So, the weird thing that I found weird is that the actress who plays the Doctor's daughter is the daughter of an actual actor. And
I know, this is so weird,
and to make
right?
it weirder down the line, she and David Tennant get married. And so it's like, oh.
They met on the set of this episode.
And they fell in love. It's so weird.
That
when
is
you think
poetry.
about it. But it's so weird in that context because if you think about they're the same. Like her dad, her husband, and her played
it's weird.
The same character into an extent.
I've played the same character. It's really weird.
And in her iteration, she's supposed to be like kind of the pseudo daughter to, I guess, what was her father at one point. Now it's her husband. It's like, oh god, that's so. I hope to God none of their kids become doctors. Otherwise, that's gonna make things even more confusing.
Yes, what?
Oh no! Please don't tell me.
So, yeah, the actress in this episode, her father is Peter David, a wonderful actor. He played the Fifth Doctor.
They crossed over at one point.
Yeah, and it was great. You know, like it was cool. He's apparently David Tennant's favorite Doctor.
Now he's his father-in-law. That's so ironic because, like, you know, I think David Tennant, like, he told a story about he watched Doctor Who as a kid, or maybe you told me.
Yeah.
And he's like, wow, look at this Doctor. He's so cool. Like, 2 decades later, he's my father-in-law. He's my actual father-in-law.
Oh, hey, Peter, how you doing?
That's just so cool.
You, like, see each other on Christmas or some shit? I mean, not this year, you're not going to, but, you know.
Well, who knows? I mean, they both still live in the UK, right?
I mean, if they live near each other.
That's just so weird. It's cool.
I still don't advise it, personally. The year's 2020, as we're recording this.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe someone's watching this like 2020.
Keep it in the immediate family this year, guys. That's all I mean. You know, you can still celebrate, just don't make a big deal out of anything.
George tells me that every time I make an event. Yeah, I think the episode was cool because they kind of set up this other... Like, it's not an entire, like, Doctor-Master thing where it's like, oh, they are in the same species. And I guess they kind of once again bring up the fact that the Doctor could once again have that chance of like having someone like him on board the TARDIS. Having that this time a sort of like a mentor-mentee relationship or a father-daughter, you know, thing. That would have been a fairly cool topic to explore. And then by the end of this episode, she just gets shot by a stray laser bullet.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn it. Once again, foiled by the laser bullet. Can the Doctor not have one good moment? Can he not have that one good moment? Actually, that'll be the next episode. You good?
Damn. Foiled by the laser bullet.
Again.
Every time.
Every single time.
That is this show summed up in a nutshell.
Every time. Oh my god, that's gonna. Oh my god, I just remembered. It's gonna come back up in a moment. Oh
it is gonna come back.
I just remembered that. I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot the last episode. Oh god. Let's get to. Let's shimmy along.
How many people died in this show from like a stray laser blast? Goddamn.
But no, like to wrap up this episode, I thought it was pretty cool
to
see
great.
Like the Doctor's daughter, and the way they ended up this episode was like. She could come back? Did she ever come back or no?
They never bring her back. Sadly. Would have
been cool.
You know, what I like about this episode is, like you said, it very much like backs off. It's kind of takes that characterization from series 3, where like the Doctor is fucking miserable. Like that's the thing, you know. I didn't get to say that when we were talking about like the Christmas special, because I don't remember the Christmas special that much, but you do bring up a good point. The Doctor was fucking miserable earlier this season, you know? It was like, he was in a really rough spot. He dealt with 2 seasons of getting shafted. The part in the middle of my hair keeps showing, and I really just want my hair to stay still. And the doctor, he's just in a really rough spot. He has no people. He has nothing to say that is his own, except for the clothes on his back and his TARDIS. You know,
every time he does find someone, they're gone. They're just gone and gone.
Gone. He's in a really shitty position.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, like, having a companion, traveling with one, that's what makes him feel alive.
A little bit alive. But he's still, like, I think deep in his core, he still feels like...
He still wants to belong somewhere. That's a big part of the Doctor. The Doctor is insecure. He just wants to belong.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows what it feels like to be an outcast. He is the outcast of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
He feels out of place. He feels like a loser. And, you know, because he knows what it feels like to be insecure like that, he doesn't want anybody else to feel that way. So he is always nice to people. He is always as kind as he possibly can be to others. He makes them as happy as he possibly can because he knows that that's what he would want for someone else. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that very much goes into, like, the reason why he misses his people so much. The reason why he is so sad is because he never felt like he belonged anywhere.
Especially now more than ever.
Especially now more than ever. Because the closest thing that he had to people that he could relate to are all gone. Thanks to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Most of the time,
it was just
thanks to him.
Yeah, most of the time, thanks to him. So yeah, you know, that's a big part of this episode. Sorry, I'm not gonna have a chance to mention it, but another cool thing I liked about this episode was that, like, how it talked about war and, like, no one even knew what they were fighting over. I was like, damn, that is some commentary.
I don't even know what they were fighting or, like, some type of...
I don't even know what they were fighting for.
Well, wasn't it like a flower or some, like, energy core thingy? I don't fucking remember.
Sure, but, like, you know, it very much got lost, you know? And, like, I liked what this episode had to say where it was like, yeah, stop fighting. And, like, I like that revelation of, like, this whole episode, you think they've been fighting for thousands of years, but they've only been fighting for 2 weeks. I was like... That's genius!
Here's the thing, make peace, not love. Wait,
make peace, not love, bro.
Make peace, not war. Never mind. Okay.
Not war, there we go. Make peace, not love. Make peace, not war. Thank you, Joseph.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Look in your episode list for a second. I know there's one episode I'm forgetting. Is the next
Doctor's daughter was fucking awesome. Martha was cool. Martha was cool, too.
It was just to see, like, the amount of, like... It was just cool to see, like, a badass female doctor-ish. Or just having that connection of, like, the doctor could have a daughter, and, you know, or a daughter, and, you know, just seeing that...
Oh, 2 other things about this episode. I'm sorry, this episode had a lot more depth than I was expecting. I don't mind just telling you. I don't really count it as a spoiler, but... because it's about the classic series, but the thing is, the Doctor he'd never really talked about it before. The Doctor has had a family before.
Oh boy, which number?
The first one.
Oh, the older one.
Ever since the beginning, the show starts off with the first ever companion was the Doctor's granddaughter, Susan.
Okay.
Eventually, yeah, like... And because it was a show from the fucking 60s or 50s or whatever, they didn't think it through. You know, like, especially when they got further away from the classic series. They just kind of forgot about it. And, you know, like, yeah.
But it's a thing. It happened in the lore.
It happened. The Doctor had a family, a wife, a child, and a grandchild. We've only seen the grandchild.
Where are the others?
Susan, we don't know.
Maybe one day.
Basically, and, you know, they did wrap it up in the classic series, though. Like, Susan, she eventually, like, after a certain adventure, the Doctor just straight up locks the doors to the TARDIS.
Oh, boy.
And she's just like, what the fuck? And then, you know, like, You good?
Now I got T. Went down the wrong throat.
Okay. Basically, like, one funny thing is, what the Doctor is always known for is his speeches. You know, I'm sure you've seen more than a handful so far this throughout watching the show.
Oh yeah, of course.
What a lot of people consider to be the first speech is when the first Doctor like speaks to his granddaughter Susan for the last time. You know, he gives this nice speech about like, you have to move on from me and my adventures. I know you want to have a normal life, but I'm holding you back from having a normal life. So just have your normal life and enjoy. I love you. And so it was wrapped up. It was just never brought up again. But keep that in mind when you think about the Doctor and who he is. He's an old man, and he has had a family before.
I mean, you live for like 9 millenniums plus. You're gonna have some sort of experience like that.
Yeah.
So
there you go. About David Tennant and his kids. His kids were into Doctor Who. They were the biggest Doctor Who fans for like a month, and then they forgot about the show.
Oh boy.
They were just for like a solid month or two. They were just like, yeah, they were the biggest Doctor Who fans ever.
And their
like
dad was one.
Yeah, and like their dad was one, and their grandfather was one. Peter David, their grandfather, he built them a replica full-size TARDIS in their backyard. So it's the only piece of Doctor Who merchandise that David Tennant owns is a full-blown TARDIS.
Built by an actual doctor.
Built by a doctor.
No, that and man, well, maybe like 10 years or now they'll probably like cast the sons. One of the son and like, oh, you want to be a doctor? Oh, well, the daughter too, I guess. Now that Jodie kind of opened the doors for that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so we'll see. Maybe, who knows? Maybe it'll stay in the family. Who knows?
Maybe it'll stay in the family. That's weird. Now that we bring that up,
who knows? We'll come back in series 29 or something.
29. There we go.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
It's neat and it's funny because they just completely forgot about it. It was a total phase. They just don't give a shit anymore.
I mean, if you really think about it, it's kind of a blessing in disguise, so they don't constantly annoy their dad. Hey, when are you going to go back and Doctor Who? When are you going to go back and Doctor Who? When are you going to go back and Doctor Who? When are you going to go back? Yeah. Go back. We want to see the set.
Go back. Bye.
Correct me if I'm wrong. And again, this is an amazing episode. One of the standouts of the season. What I'm forgetting an episode. What's the next episode after this one? This is the last I'm asking you for your episode list. I think I should remember. I could take over from here after this.
The Unicorn and the Wasp.
Wait, which one?
The Unicorn and the Wasp.
I don't remember that one. What was that one again?
It's funny. A lot of people call this the worst episode of Doctor Who ever.
What was it? I forgot.
I never watched it before.
Give me like a synopsis, maybe I'll remember it.
Let me see. The Doctor and Donna invite themselves to a dinner party in 1926, hosted by Lady Clemency Edison.
Oh yeah, that episode. That fucking sucks. Yeah. I was not a fan. I legitimately forgot about that episode. I knew I forgot an episode. This felt like a reality show off the wheels, and I should know. I'm watching Jersey Shore Family Vacation right now as we're recording this. I know a real family show. This isn't it. This wasn't it. I'm sorry. This was I agree with the fans. This was not a memorable episode whatsoever. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
sorry to the guest stars on that episode. I'm sorry. You guys were just not memorable for me to even think about. I completely forgot about it.
I know, right?
Even the Ood episode, I vaguely have an opinion on it. It wasn't a memorable one this series. At least I remembered it to an extent. I don't remember shit from this one. There was a ghost. I know that a famous writer was on it, and that's all I remember from it. I'm sorry,
dude.
This is not a good one.
Everybody has said that this is the worst episode of the series ever, and I'm just like, all right, I'll stay away from it. I haven't seen this episode.
Yeah, it's a waste of time. No offense. I know people put their time and soul into this episode. I understand that, but it's totally fine if you stay away and never watch it. It's totally fine. Then next we have the next two-parter, which was oh my god, I had him. It was on the tip of my stone. The tip of my stone, and I forgot what was the next two-part. Oh yeah, this character. So this was the weird. This was kind of where I kind of was in between watching this in Arrow season 4. I kind of had to switch over to Arrow for a bit. So I kind of went back and forth with this episode. So this was the one in the library, right? With the little girl, with her imagination type thing, featuring, ironically, another Arrow guest star, connecting the two R2 review series together again. Walter from Arrow was the psychiatrist in Doctor Who. Another cool thing.
Want to hear something funny? This is some people's favorite episode,
dude,
of Doctor Who.
They introduced one of the most coolest characters in this fucking series. Then her name is River Song. Wait, is it River Song or River Swan?
River Song.
River Song. Oh my god, what a cool ass character! What the hell? I mean, the thing about this is that it's so weird because like
I want to hear from you. You know what, Joseph? I am gonna take the reins off. I'm giving the floor to you. Tell me, what did you think of this episode?
This two-parter. Oh my god.
By the way, I'm gonna. Sorry, before you go on, I'm gonna admit one thing. And people are gonna crucify me for this.
Oh no.
I haven't seen the full episode.
You son of a bitch.
I can't do it. I just get so sad.
You have to finish it.
I've seen most of it. I've seen so many parts.
You son of a bitch.
But it's just so fucking sad.
Go finish him right now, motherfucker. Go finish it. I mean, the episode didn't...
I get to you.
Yeah.
Joseph, what do you think about Silence in the Library?
Yeah, so this episode kind of didn't sell me at first, like, because again, I was going in between the two shows, so I was kind of like in and out in the beginning portion. So it took a while for me to get really to sink my teeth into it. But once we get to meet River Song, and again, last thing, another Arrow connection to the Arrow Doctor Who review series we're doing.
I didn't know about that. That's funny.
No, here's the funnier thing. This actress who plays River Song, she plays a character on Arrow.
Oh my god, really?
She plays the mother of both Laurel and Sarah Lance, both Black Canaries.
That's funny.
Yeah, no, I was like, oh my, like, wait, okay, because like the hair colors on both shows are different, but like the facial structure like reminded me, like, wait, this she seems so familiar, even because season 1 wasn't that long ago when I reviewed it with Sal. So I was watching it and I'm like, why does she look so familiar? And I looked up her name on Wikipedia and it's like, she was on Arrow. I'm like,
that is so funny. Oh my god.
3 actors already. Will there be more? I don't know. We'll see what happens in the special. But no, it's just so interesting that like, you know, we're doing this both at the same time, and like, you know, we get 3 actors and actresses from Doctor Who to come into Arrow and vice versa. Well, Doctor Who came first, but
what do you know, man?
Small world.
What do you know? Small world.
So anyway, so when they bring up her character, and also shout out to the way the premise of this episode is working with the practical effects, with the shadow creatures, and like the whole premise behind I forgot the name of the species or whatever they're called.
Yeah, all that stuff is fine. No, go on.
It's fine, but like River is like
all that stuff is on the side, in my opinion.
But yeah, but like when River gets introduced, I was already having a cool entrance, and then like as soon as she realizes that the Doctor is the Doctor, it seemed like they had done this dance before. No pun intended with song and dance. No pun intended at all. It was just so interesting because like, well, she kind of feels like oh, this is just another one of our meetings, and the Doctor's like, who the fuck are you? And that was kind of like a really funny running gag throughout the entire first part, is that the Doctor has no idea who the frack she is, and she just acts like, I know you my whole life. I've known you for so long. It's like, but who are you? Like, because for the Doctor, like, I don't know you at all. I don't. And it seems like she already has like this rapport built up with him, and she already knows what he's thinking, and she knows what he's gonna do, and every time something happens, like, let him take the lead. He knows what he's doing. It's like, they had adventures before. It's like, as a fan, well, at least for me, I know I'm pretty sure you've seen her again since this episode. But for me, this is my first time seeing it, and it's kind of like a connection between the Doctor and the viewer. Like, we don't know this character, but there seems like some history here, and I'm not sure if this was an implied setup for like what Moffat was going to do for his run, or just in general what, even if, I don't know if she's in Chobani's run or whatever. I don't know about that, but what?
Chris Chibnall.
We are gonna get so scrutinized in 2023 when we finally,
Oh
2020,
my
yeah, 2023 when we review those series.
I'm watching that series right now.
No, we'll talk. Okay, we'll put a pin on that. Well, because I don't know how
There's
you're
my
gonna
review.
Meh. Okay, good enough. And then we get to the second half, and then we start to see like I don't know if it was this one or the last, but we got to see her journal, and it's blue and shaped like the TARDIS. Like this is like this. There's just so many things that I want to know, and apparently it's a recollection of all their adventures together, but the Doctor doesn't even know. And then she mentions like a few events, and it's like, okay, you can interrupt me here. The events she mentioned, will we see them in the show? Like she just rattles on a few events from like, oh, did we get up to this part yet, or did we do this yet? And it's like, and the Doctor's like, do we get to see them at all?
So Joseph, I want you to do a Google search for me, okay?
I can't. I'm on OBS. From it's going to interrupt the recording. I can't do it.
Ah, crap. Okay. I'm only gonna say one thing. The person who wrote this episode was Stephen Moffat.
Oh my god, what a fucking smart! I can't wait till we do the series. Till we start his run. I can't wait till we start next.
Right?
That's next year, George. Next year. That's not this year.
This man is like galaxy braining this shit.
He hasn't even taken over yet. He's already like setting up seats for his run.
He's already setting up.
Smart man,
dude.
Smart team. Not sure how. I'm gonna butcher his name again. I'll shut up. But no, that's so cool. And then like at the moment, it's like that finally solidifies their connection in this time period when she just says to the Doctor, I know I have only one way that's going to make you trust me. And she whispers in his ear his name. And then his face lights up like, fuck. He only trusts from what I'm aware, he only trusts the most important people in his life with this name.
In his life.
And she's one of them. And now he's like, where did we meet? Now I'm curious, like where they're gonna meet, or eventually down the line. In terms of me, I don't know when they first meet, or their first like River's first meeting with him, not like the Doctor's first meeting. You know what I mean? And it was so kind of bittersweet because like at the end of this episode, yeah, she's gone, and the Doctor manages to save her a little bit by plugging her into the. Did you know AR VR space to kind of give her another chance of life?
It's heaven, I don't know.
It's weird, but it's like for me, it's like bittersweet because like at least for River, this is I guess her last point of her history. But
this is her last adventure,
and it was the first adventure she had.
It was her first adventure.
What? It was the last. It's the last for her with the Doctor, and it's the Doctor's first with her. So like it's poetry. So weird. Like it's
so like poetry.
Like it's like a reverse. Like she's ending where he's beginning.
So yeah, imagine imagine it. See, I don't want to say anything, because I want you to experience all this stuff for yourself. But like, yeah, look, the truth is like. Stephen Moffat wrote this episode. What do you think is going to happen?
He's going to come back. She's going to come back.
River Song is possibly the most important character of Doctor Who, in many people's opinion. Mm-hmm. We have seen the Doctor fall in love with somebody over the course of this series. Mm-hmm. She doesn't know his name. Rose doesn't know the Doctor's name. He loved her, though.
But she does. The River does.
Imagine how much of an impact River had on the Doctor.
We will see that. Well, I will see that eventually.
We will see this developed. Her ending is his beginning. So she goes backward, he goes forward. Eventually, their timelines will be perfectly aligned, and then they will go back to being all weird again.
That sounds so symbolic as hell, but I can't wait.
It's so fucking... It's genius. There's a whole, like, map out of the timeline of Doctor Who, starting from, like, Series 4 to now. For them and their arc. And, like... I don't know how he did it, but he did!
Well, we'll see. Hopefully, I can't wait to see all that when we hopefully it's going to be in the Matt Smith section when we do that next year. So
So
hopefully
crazy,
we'll,
am I right? I'm sorry if I am spoiling, but like you gotta admit, I feel like this episode did kind of set that up.
oh no,
though.
exactly. Like it's obvious. Like yeah, they have history together. She's gonna be a fan favorite, and then they're gonna continue expanding her story in the next series to come. So yeah, I'm not surprised that like.
Yeah, so I am sorry for spoiling it for you and for anybody else that is watching.
Oh no.
But like, there's no way we can talk about this episode without talking about its implications.
It's not even a spoil. It's like it's basic knowledge that like, hey, this character is very important in the.
Yeah,
it's very important in the Doctor's history, and even this episode kind of implied like they're gonna have more meanings at least at some point down the line. So it's not a spoiler for me. It's not a spoiler for me. Like
okay, thank you for understanding. This show is very complicated for no reason.
Exactly, but
so yeah, like this show, this is one of the best examples of how good the show can be on when you watch it all together as a whole. This show is genius. Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes it's stupid, like the Unicorn and the Wasp, which is literally just one episode ago.
We won't talk about that.
We get the worst and the best right here.
Yeah, but
it's very cleverly done.
I feel like besides the finale, this was probably my favorite episode. Besides the finales.
Right?
This was probably
just so
I want to see
good.
more. I can't wait.
And I can't watch it. I can't watch the whole thing because it makes me so sad. I can't do it.
But it's not a goodbye. It's still a hello. We'll get to. I know it's a goodbye for her, but like for us, it's still a hello. We'll see more of her.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But no, yeah, I love this episode so much. It was fucking cool. She's an amazing character. I can't wait to see more of her in the next series, or the next series is. Whenever.
I'm glad you had a good reaction to River Song. Some people some people are just like, I don't get it. What's the point? It's just a gimmick. And I'm just like,
it's more than a gimmick.
It's more than that.
But
next.
Okay, so we can't top that. We're just gonna move on.
I can't talk about this more without saying anything else.
So it's fine.
No,
we'll
for those of you who have watched the whole series, you know how good this episode is.
It is, and if we're gonna have more of this in the future, I can't wait.
Yeah.
But okay. Since we can't.
This is the best goodbye ever. Or is it the best hello ever?
Could be both. Who knows?
Could be both.
Who knows?
That's the life of a time traveler.
Everything's kind of wonky. Speaking of wonky, the next two episodes were actually kind of experimental, in my opinion, because we got another doctor, another companion. We got the first ever companion light episode, where it was like the plane episode. Don't know if you watched that one.
I don't think I've seen these actually.
So we have the companion.
Oh no, I've seen. So like I don't think I've seen Forest of the Dead.
That's the companion light episode. So that doesn't have Donna in it that much. It's just the Doctor.
Yeah,
and I might have seen the Midnight light episode with just Donna as the character. Then we get the finales.
Which one is the one with the train?
Which one?
The one with the train.
There was no train. There was no train in the last four.
1 second, I'm looking this up.
Well, you gotta do that. The Doctor Light episode, the one you missed, I guess, the one with the plane. That was honestly, I know it was experimental. I wasn't entirely after the River Song 2-parter. I guess this was kind of like okay, it's fine. It was just I think the only thing I can remember from this episode was that we got a Rose cameo when the sky was kind of like interrupting things, and then we just got that brief shot of Rose like trying to like say something to the Doctor, but then she went away, kind of like a tease for like the finale. That was the only thing I can remember. I mean, but you didn't watch the episode, did you?
I don't think I did.
That's fine.
Forest of the Dead.
You did warn me. This section of the series, you didn't watch every episode. You just watched the story.
Not really. No,
it's fine. The message that I took away from that episode was that life's too short, as well as life is kind of unexpected, especially with the creature of the week or the being of the week, whatever you want to call it.
Wait, I'm sorry. 1 second. Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead are a 2-parter, right?
Yes. I think.
So you're talking about the episode Midnight.
I guess so. Yeah.
Midnight is the one with the. Is it the one with the shuttle?
That's the one with the plane.
Plane?
It's a plane. They were in the sky.
And the doctor's like with a group of people.
Yeah, random group.
Donna's not in it.
Donna is in a spa somewhere. She's not in this episode, really.
I remember this one. Yeah, this is the one I was thinking of. For some reason, I thought it was a train.
Well, it was a plane. It was a train, boats, trains, and planes. That movie show. I don't remember what it was.
I don't know how I feel about this episode.
It's kind of wonky and weird, weirder than usual.
You know, like I'm sorry. I saw this like 7 years ago.
So it's not that memorable that you don't remember it that much.
No, the thing is, it is. I remember it. I remember it being like. I'm gonna tell you the only things I remember from it. The basic premise: they're on a shuttle and something is fucking with them, whether it's like a alien ghost, whatever.
It's a alien ghost from the planet, apparently.
Yeah, and it's a very much a psychological horror themed episode, and it was really dark and disturbing. It kind of threw me off.
In a good way or a bad way?
In a weird way. I don't know. I remember hearing people talk about this episode when the 50th anniversary was coming up. I remember David Tennant talking very highly about this episode. He was just like, this episode is just so well made. It's just so good. And I was just like...
You don't see it?
I do, but it's so unfitting.
I think because they were trying something new, I guess.
Right? I don't know. It just felt out of place. It didn't feel like a Doctor Who episode. It felt a little depressing. Let's be...
Yeah.
From what... I'm not... And like, again... This is talking about George from 7 years ago, okay?
I know George from 7
years ago. I saw this episode once around the 50th anniversary. That was 7 years ago, right?
Yeah.
You know? They were showing a lot of reruns around the 50th anniversary, and they were talking about those episodes. So I remember, yeah. I just remember watching this episode and be like, God damn it, this is depressing. That's all, really. I'm just like, Jesus Christ. What the fuck, Doctor Who? I don't know. It felt weird and out of place to me. I could rewatch it. What do you think, though? Tell me.
But here's the weird thing. Like, the only things I remember from this episode was... Yeah, the premise was, like, definitely... It felt like a bottle episode, so definitely helping the psychological horror themed environment you were talking about. So this definitely did help them out a little bit. It's like it was just one set, very interesting premise because the Doctor is still with Donna, but she's not there. So it was like him with a bunch of randos. No offense to them. And then you have the creature of the week show up, and it turns out to possess humans and playing that weird, creepy, like repeating game, or is she predicting what they're saying? I don't really know what it was. And then just seeing them all willing to throw the Doctor out because they think he's the one with the being, and it turns out no. It was
nobody trusted anybody, right?
Yeah, it was kind of like Among Us in a way.
Yeah, everybody kind of like hated each other.
Kind of like Among Us.
Yeah, and I was just like, God damn. Calm the fuck down, people.
Oh, no, exactly.
I don't know. I guess I just didn't like seeing the Doctor being put in that kind of position, and not in a way where it was like not narratively satisfying. It was just like, oh no, the Doctor is in trouble. I want him to get out of this. Where it was just like, this is really unsettling. I don't want to watch this.
Yeah, because they were just about to like throw him out and kill him.
Yeah, I was just like, this is really like, I don't know. It felt too dark for me. To me, at least. Like, sure, the show can talk about, like, slightly dark themes, but only in, like, the dramatic sense. The generic TV dramatic sense, you know? You know, like, I feel like the darkest this series has gotten is when the Doctor talks about that Time War, you know?
But yeah, and this episode kind of took the cake.
Yeah, and this episode was just like, God damn, I feel like it went too far. Again, I saw the episode one time when I was much younger. That's really it.
Now that I remember, the ending of this episode was like one of the stewardess. She had the suspicion, like she knew it wasn't the Doctor possessed all along. So she tackles the woman who had it originally, but they both end up dying. And then as the doctor was trying to like say something poetic about her, like kind of thank her, he realized I didn't even know her name. He didn't know. No one knew what her name was, and that's the way she died. Like, you can't even like say her name because no one freaking knew. She was just an employee, and I guess it kind of just teaches you like that everyone's important in a way that you should at least make an effort to like get to know someone at least a little bit before you kind of write them off. I guess that was kind of the message I took away from it.
That's a better message than I had. I didn't... Yeah, I feel like the episode just had such a... It was just so fucking crazy that, like, I just didn't know how to react to it. I feel like that's a big part of it. I
felt kind of the same, too.
Yeah, but I think you had a much better outlook on it than me.
You want to tackle on the real finale? Let's get to it.
Yeah, let's talk about the better episode.
So before we get to like the true two-parter finale, we had like a setup episode with Donna, the Doctor Light episode of the season, where they're on a planet, they're visiting some folks. She's listening like kind of like their version of a psychic, and then she kind of gets thrown into a trance by the psychic about like, oh, what if your life had been differently? What if you made a right instead of a left? That type of like weird multiverse bullshit.
Yeah.
So we see that timeline. It turns out if she had made a right, she wouldn't have never went to the job that would have led her to the guy who was actually a consultant for the alien that would never have made her up with the Doctor. So things wouldn't have happened. So we kind of see an alternative version of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
After series number 2? Yeah, after series 2. Because...
Yeah.
So we kind of go through these different cycles where it's like we're viewing this from an outside perspective, which is kind of cool. Like we get to see like it's like a better version of that shitty series 2 episode with the other like that weird like band group type. Yeah. This was a better episode because they tackled on what is everyone else viewing as what are the civilians thinking about like these events. And Donna is like still, the companion, but she's still like in this knowledge of like I don't know anything that's going on, and we get to see her reacting to like her Christmas special, but without her in it, and then the Doctor dies. He sacrifices himself to beat the villain. It's like fuck, we have no more Doctor.
Yeah.
And then we get the first Rose cameo, a many where she's like, is this the real Rose, or is this kind of like our Rose? It's like she's still like in that weird in between stage.
Yeah,
she just disappears in and out, and then we get up to the series 3 finale with the hospital. No, the series 3 premiere with the hospital. Yeah, I think I'm right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, Martha Jones died during that event because the Doctor wasn't with her.
Yeah.
And then I think it was. I forgot what happened after that, to be honest with you. I think more stuff happened and just things got really, really dire for them. And then things just got kind of like a little bit dire.
I don't remember either. I just remember and I just remember it ending off with like an alien invasion.
Oh, we'll get to that.
And Donna was just like, oh no! And then it ends off with her being like, oh, it was a dream.
Yeah, basically. Well, not really a dream.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
But like, I think the parts that really kind of took me in was like when Rose finally got to really tell Donna, this is the situation, this is the thing that's going on with you, and this is why everything's happening so badly.
Mm-hmm.
And then like we finally got that revelation of like the quote from the Pompeii episode about the whole like thing on your back type of thing. It turns out there's like this weird bug like thing that apparently is controlling her, or something like that. I don't really know. Like I still don't even know what the fuck that is. It apparently just controls her in a way. Or it just kind of like puts her in a... I don't know, but they try removing it so they can send her back in time to kind of like redo certain events to kind of like get things back on track. I think, I'm not sure. But honestly, as a premise, it's a cool premise to see like what is the world without the Doctor.
Yeah.
What happens after that? And it turns out, things go to shit.
Yeah, things go to shit.
Yeah, we need
real quick.
We need the Doctor. We can't survive without him, or her. Gotta be fair.
Yeah.
Gotta be fair.
Yeah. Nowadays.
Yeah, nowadays it's both. And the thing to take away, but by the end of that episode, when she comes back to like the real reality, and she meets up with the Doctor again, and she's like kind of like telling her what the skimmy of like what happened in her trance dream universe visiting trip, whatever you want to call it. And also they permanently got rid of the bug for good. And then she said like, oh, I remember like this phrase, and I swear to God, when they remember this, when they said this phrase, I'm like, oh God, it's series 1 all over again.
Yeah,
Bad Wolf. And I'm like, oh God, she's coming back. This is real. This is happening. And then they return back to the TARDIS. It's on red alert. And it's like, yeah, it's a fucking invasion.
Yeah.
And then we get to the finale. It was like,
then we get to the finale. Finally,
this is the finale was the culmination of the last.
This is it.
Like everyone is here, everyone, and just in the beginning alone, we get to see appearances from Captain Jack. We get to see a couple of his Torchwood team members, Like, I'm still saying this, man. Someday down the line, we should do every Torchwood series reviewed. We should do that. We should. These guys were fun. The little bits we got of them, they were fun.
Yeah.
But then we got to see Sarah Jane come back. In her more.
From her show
in time with one of her companion or son
companions,
whatever he is,
her son.
Yeah, and we also got Martha Jones in there. Like everyone's aware of what's going on, but they're not sure how everything's going to be aligned yet. This kind of feels like they're just
wondering like something weird is going on, but
we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know what it is yet, though.
Yeah. Was it in the middle of the episode or the end of the episode where we got the revelation of who the Fred was? Was the end?
I think it was the middle of the episode. Yeah. Side note, the moment where the doctor goes to the, what's it called? The Judon?
The other planet?
Yeah, the Rhino guys.
Yeah, them.
Yeah. That moment is like one of the funniest moments in the show ever. No, fro, to, jo, mo, zo, mo, to. Burajuto fafano. Moho.
Don't understand the language.
That was one of the funniest moments of that show for some reason. It got really popular. It got like memed to hell.
When memeing was a thing back in
I know.
08 or something. Oh God, I was graduating elementary school by that time.
I was in elementary. Keep that in mind,
right?
It's funny. I had a moment like that when I watched the Fires of Pompeii episode. I was like, man, when did this episode come out? Oh my God, I was literally a child. I didn't watch it when it aired, but I was just like, wow, that's weird. Because the time I got into the show was way afterwards. It was still a long time ago by this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, man, time is weird.
Oh no! Yeah, of course. Yeah, it is weird.
It's all poetry.
Mm-hmm. So, and then we get to the middle of that episode where everyone's kind of like getting a sense of like what the situation is here, and then they get that transmission, that decrypted transmission, and all it just says is exterminate.
I know.
I'm like, oh fuck them again.
Everybody, my friend, he talked about how like this. Just for that moment, it was one of his favorite episodes. Just for that moment, I'm like, God damn,
because they realize the threat of it, like, it's the Daleks again, and it's like, oh fuck, they're back.
Yeah,
and
they weren't even like ready to fight them. They weren't ready to like at least try to get away. No, they were ready to die. They were holding their loved ones and saying their goodbyes.
Because they didn't know the doctor was there yet. They just thought, oh, the doctor's out somewhere and we're alone and we need him and he's not here.
Yeah, every single one of them had that reaction. I like nearly like cried and shit my pants when I saw Sarah Jane just holding her son for dear life, just like, saying that she loves him and goodbye.
We're gonna
not I'm scared or anything. Like, she said goodbye. I was like, holy shit!
Because they know they can't beat him without the doctor. They can. And then we get to see the new big bad of the Dalek. The Daleks. Davros is his name? Is that the name? Davros? Why does that
He's
sound
not
like
new.
A New Zealand name or something? I don't know why. It just sounds like a New Zealand name.
Davros is the creator of the Daleks.
Oh no, I remember when he does like the whole chest reveal. They came from my chest. Sorry for my chest reveal.
Yeah, they came from me.
That's so fucking creepy because like he literally just took he plucked every cell just to make one fucking tiny
Oh.
Dalek. So creepy.
Oh. So Davros, let's get into him, I guess, you know? Like, so yeah, we have the revelation that like it's the Daleks and they're back. They survived the Time War again.
For the third time in a row.
So that's counting how many times now?
Probably like 4, 5. I'm going to say 5. I don't.
I want to say 4.
I'm going to say 5. I count the pig. I count the pig incident as 2.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So yeah, Davros.
How many times has the Dalek survived?
I don't fucking know.
God damn.
I mean, isn't the new special called? Isn't the next holiday special called Revolution of the Daleks or something? Future spoilers. Okay, I'll shut up. Okay, move on.
Yeah, the next episode is gonna be called Revolution of the Daleks.
Poster's kind of shit, but anyway, move on.
They're just not gonna die.
Okay, moving. The post. Okay, Davros. Let's talk about Davros. Give me some history. Is he?
Yeah, it's funny how many times they survived the Time War. Just because, like, damn, it kind of seems like the Time Lords just lost the Time War with how many Daleks survived.
So Davros, is he from the classic series? He kind of seems.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
He first appeared in a Tom Baker episode. It's funny because the Daleks were the Doctor's first ever villain, in case you didn't know. Starting with William Hartnell, the first Doctor. But Tom Baker introduced their creator. The Time Lords, after realizing that, like, alright, we can't stop the Doctor from, like, running away from us. Like, he's gonna do whatever the fuck he wants and we can't stop him. So, they decided to send him on a mission to change time and change history. His mission was to go back in time, not that far back in time, but a little bit far back in time. To kill the creator of the Daleks before they were created. They were doing a Terminator situation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we meet Davros for the first time. His whole body was devastated throughout a war on his planet, and it really sucked. And he just had such a horrible upbringing and such a horrible life overall that, he created literally the worst thing ever.
Oh yeah. Fuck.
He created, like, the worst living creature to ever walk the
next to the Cybermen, next to them, but we don't count them right.
Yeah, next to the Cybermen. So yeah.
Is it just me?
Davros is really fucked up.
He kind of reminds me.
He's a great villain. I love Davros.
Oh no, he's cool. I don't know why. I got a lot of Palpatine vibes around him, like his voice, his charisma, his movement. Like it kind of reminded me of like another Palpatine for some reason. I don't know. That was kind of,
I get it.
That was kind of my opinion on it.
Yeah, he gives off that vibe, that Emperor vibe. Yeah.
No, yeah, you're right. It's here after we get introduced to Davros, where like everyone starts like rioting. Everyone starts like, it's the end of the world. We're gonna die. And then like,
everybody's just like, well, this is the end.
And then Rose appears like, no, I'm here. I'm gonna save the day.
And then she's like, I'm here to help, bitches.
And then meanwhile, on the other side of town,
all of you were waiting for me to come back. Let's go.
Oh, we've been waiting. We've been waiting a whole year.
We've been waiting. Oh my god.
And to make it more hilarious is that on the other side of town, I think it's in the same episode, the first part, where Sarah Jane is like trying to get away, or she's trying to meet up with someone. I'm not sure what's happening, and she's about to get overrun by the Daleks. And she gets saved by the most unlikeliest person, the return of Mrs. fucking Tyler. I'm like, oh fuck, she's still a character. I forgot about her.
She's still a character.
And she's with Mickey too. Oh, I almost forgot about Mickey.
I know, Mickey.
I almost forgot about Mickey again.
Hey, it's not a Mickey episode unless you forget about Mickey.
Exactly. So they come to save. So yeah, it's not just Rose, it's her mom, it's Mickey again. They're coming from the other dimension.
It's everybody.
Yeah, now we got all the main companions coming back.
Everyone.
We got them all back. So it turns out the Daleks. So they move them to another point in the galaxies just to like make this bomb or use them all like as a device to form a bomb or something. That was their overall plan.
Yeah.
Like full on genocidal on a solar system a galaxy level.
Basically, the Daleks' one goal is to just destroy everything,
no matter what,
that isn't a Dalek.
No matter what.
Yeah, the Cybermen are all about conversion. They're all about like, they think that they're improving and like fixing everything because of their like innate human malfunction and their robotic malfunction. Like they think that they're like, helping, and they are upgrading. They're taking us and converting us. The Daleks just kill. That is literally the only thing they were made for. To kill anything that moves, anything that is alive. That is their only purpose. This is their plan.
Destroy everything.
Destroy everything.
And the Doctor is all the way far flung away that he can't save the day for now.
Yeah.
Smart plan by the Daleks. Smart plan.
Smart plan.
But they know the Doctor's going to find some way, and then his companions manage to create some sort of beacon for him, and he and Donna like literally nearly destroy the TARDIS trying to get to that point, which they do succeed. And I don't know why the Doctor's face lit up when he got to see all of his like old friends on the screen, like on that weird computer screen. It's like kind of felt nice. It's like the Doctor kind of like began to know like, oh, I'm not alone. I got all these people. Like they're willing to help.
Keep going. I'll be right back. Okay.
Sure, no problem. So I think after that, the two parts are starting to blend in my mind. So I'm not quite sure where we go from here, but I do believe we continue from this point on, where it's back to. Well, oh no, we're still in the first part. Damn it, I just remembered. So what was hilarious enough was that we got to the point where like the Doctor and Donna finally get back on the mainland, and then they're back on Earth. They're here to save the day. They land back on land, and the first thing the Doctor sees, and it's something Jesus Christ, I've been waiting for since the end of series 2, was the reunion with Rose, and the moment they see each other from across the way, and it's like back to old time, back to the first 2 series, and it's just so heartwarming. And then literally, as I was making the joke before, the first thing, like, they're just about to embrace, and then a space bullet comes in to kill him, and I'm like, no! So close! They could have kissed, they could have done something. It's like, why, Dalek? Why?
I came back at the perfect time.
Why do you hate love, Dalek? Why do you
hate love, Dalek? Why can you know love?
So Jack comes in, becomes a badass, stops the other Dalek, pulls the Doctor.
Yeah, her dad comes back too. I was like, oh shit, we're getting everybody now.
So Jack, Donna, and Rose head back to the TARDIS. The Doctor is beginning to
I'm sorry. I just love that moment where like the Doctor's like, all right, cool, we're gonna have a pretty fun adventure. And maybe I'm starting to realize that, like, you know what, I have a lot of friends. He's kind of starting to realize, you know what, like, all right, cool. Rose. Yeah, and then he sees a Rose, and he's just like, and you see all that like welt up emotion
come back,
all that like built up, and he just my heart melted when I saw that.
And
I was
then
just
the
like,
space bullet.
Finally, and then the space laser.
Oh
it's
God.
Like, damn it.
So yeah, so he begins his regeneration process. Like, oh damn, we're getting the new actor already. All right, let's see how.
Yeah, Matt Smith already. Shit.
Yeah, but no, he finds a loophole where he remembers the hand that Jack brought him in the last series. The last series. He transfers the energy to that hand, so the hand takes the regeneration portion, while the Doctor only keeps the recovering portion of the power. I guess that's how they phrased it. So he's still the Doctor. He's still this Doctor. He hasn't regenerated yet. Smart man.
Yeah, very smart. Although it counts, though.
We'll get to that in a minute. We're in the second part now. They embrace the Doctor.
I want you to remember that, like, the Time Lords have a finite amount of regenerations, and he just used one up.
Yeah, because he's not ready to change. So yeah, not yet.
Keep that in mind with his character. With his character, he's not ready to change.
Not yet.
Really. Keep that in mind.
Smart. So they're all teamed up again. They're getting pulled into the mothership. Things seem dire since they're trying to figure out how do we take down Davros? How do we take down the Daleks again? Everyone else is kind of doing their own thing. Sarah and Mickey, they're with I forgot her name. Mrs. Tyler. They got seemingly kidnapped by the Daleks. The Torchwood team's kind of like just hunkered down their base by another Dalek.
Yeah, they're just kind of hanging out like shit. We want to be in here too.
Yeah, we're finally on the main show, and this is what we get.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking let them get that bigger money. So they're on the ship. The Doctor and Davros are doing some exposition, like just like, oh, we meet again after whenever the last time they saw each other in the original days were. I don't know that information.
I think the last time they saw each other was No, I do remember the last time they saw each other. I saw that episode once. It was with the 7th Doctor, Sylvester McCoy. That was actually a pretty fun episode. He had like this long monologue about like what's wrong with the Daleks.
Mm-hmm. And that was like taking it.
Yeah, last time he saw them, last time like people saw them in the show was with Sylvester McCoy, the 7th Doctor.
So it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. The last time that the Doctor saw him was in the Time War.
So we'll get to that eventually.
I believe Davros was like either the leader of the Daleks at the time, or he was one of their highest generals, or he was retired.
But we're gonna see him again.
Yeah, what do you think?
So things seem dire again. But no, like the thing that I took away, but this was kind of like the Avengers moment for me, is when everyone's in the control ship. Also, another thing to keep in mind: Donna got trapped on the TARDIS again.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
And Donna's like realizing the hand is glowing again. There's like some emergency protocol in the TARDIS, and then we got another David Tennant. I'm like, wait, how do we have 2 David Tennants now?
Yeah.
So I guess the regeneration healed up his entire fake full body, I guess. I don't know how that science works.
Basically we got a second Doctor.
So there's another Doctor.
Yeah, and he gets his old suit.
Oh yeah. I
love that.
I forgot what color it was. Fuck.
Blue.
Yeah, the blue suit.
Yeah, I love that suit.
I like it too. I'm a red type of guy, but blue's kind of like my secondary color.
Yeah. Apparently, most of the suits were made out of old couches.
I am not surprised if that's a true fact.
Yeah, I remember hearing that, like, wow, you just recycled everything. That's cool.
Yeah, they save a little bit of, they help the environment out a little bit. Just a smidge, But then we get to the Avengers moment where it's like, everything seems lost. Then we have Martha, we have Mickey, we have even we have Mrs. Tyler coming. We have
Miss Tyler.
Huh?
We have Mrs. Tyler.
Even her too. We got Donna. We got Donna being somewhat more of a badass than usual, and another Doctor.
Somewhat.
Like,
yeah, she kind of became the Doctor-ish for a little bit.
She got some bigger brains now.
Yeah.
But that was all cool. Like, to see everyone come together and like work together as a team. It's so like
cool.
Like, if this is, let's be honest, if this was a CW show, this would be week to week.
Yeah.
They probably would have like had everyone on payroll already.
Yeah.
So I forgot what happens next. I forgot. They do some disruption thing to kind of stop the Daleks from using their weapons, I think.
Yeah, and it causes like Donna to like forget everything. Well, it was like she had to forget everything, or else she would have died.
Oh yeah, but that's the end. I'm talking about like how did they? I know how they got the Earth back to their solars. I know that, but like how did they stop the Daleks again? Did they just blow up all their ships again? I
think they just blew up all their ships.
The Daleks should build better ships. You know that
they really should build some better ships.
Yeah, they keep getting.
I feel like they're made out of paper and plywood.
So can you wait? Hold on. Can you still hear me or no?
I can still hear you. I can't see you.
Yeah, my camera just died.
No. Well, at least you guys get to see my beautiful face.
Yeah, I'll probably just put in a standard fill-in picture. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We'll
Okay.
keep going. So yeah, sorry about that. So apparently my camera clocks out at an hour and 50. We'll keep that in mind for next time.
Cool.
So, anywho, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So I think like this whole entire final sequence of just seeing the Doctor with every one of his companions, like, okay, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do, and he just looks at Mrs. Tyler and it's like, you do nothing. You just stay over there. Just stay away.
Just stay there. Just hang out. Do whatever you want.
Don't touch anything. Just don't touch it. And that was so fucking
Don't
cool.
touch anything.
Don't do anything. Just stand there.
Yeah.
I won't even say look pretty because, sorry, this actually thoughts. Sorry about the actors. I'm sorry. I don't mean it like that. I'm allowed to have an opinion about females. Okay, that sounded so wrong. That sounded so wrong over there. So now they beat the Daleks.
He said it, not me.
They beat the Dalek, and it's so sweet and nice. Like, everyone's hugging, everyone's celebrating. Everyone we've cared about in the past 4 series.
It's perfect.
They're just here. They're celebrating. They're so happy. But of course, they got to say goodbye. The Doctor just leaves them off. Like, he says goodbye to Sarah Jane. You know, she's happy. She's off doing her own thing on her show. I guess, yeah, so Jack and Martha are heading back off to Torchwood together, or just in the general Great Britain area, I guess. That's what they describe it. And Mickey's like, you know what, nah, I'm going to stay here. Let's chill back in the main universe.
Yeah.
Why not? And it's like, you know, who knows what...
Because his grandma, it's because was it his grandma or his mom?
Yeah, his grandma passed away.
His grandma, she finally passed away. He finally got to say goodbye to her. He was like, all right, I don't need to be there anymore.
Yeah. Because we're about to figure out...
I was like, finally! It only took 4 series, but I actually give a shit about Mickey.
Finally.
Finally. And then, everything's coming up Mickey.
Is it? We'll see. See what happens. I don't know. You tell me. But so anyway, Doctor goes back off to drop off Rose and her mom back at the exact same beach we saw them at the end of the series 2 finale.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, why are we back here? I mean, they could have just dropped them off closest to home, but it had to be a symbolic meaning because, so, yes, once again, this is the last time the Doctor and Rose are going to see each other, but we still have to figure out what we're going to do with Doctor number 2 over here. And this is the cool thing they set up is that, so since Donna and this second Doctor were so close to each other, they kind of shared some things. So she got the knowledge.
This Doctor is a little human.
Yeah, so he can age. He can be like an actual aging human like you and me. And so now it's like, you want to be with me, but, you know, I wasn't human. Here he is. This is the answer to, like, well, to your guys' problem.
Yeah. And he is the Doctor.
He's the same being.
That's the thing. He is the same guy.
Yeah, because...
But she doesn't believe him. So
yeah, it's like, no, this is not you.
Yeah, so she asks him, like, the last time we were on this beach, what were you going to say to me?
And he said it. He said it like, he whispered it like, yeah, I love you.
And, like, I love that. I still would have been satisfied if we heard him say it. Because it would have been, like, a nice narrative, like, conclusion, a perfect wrap-up.
But we know what he said. We know.
But we know what he said. So he whispered it in her ear. And you could see it. You could see her realizing that it is really him. And they fucking kiss. Finally!
But it's not, it's the Doctor kissing her, but it's not.
Finally!
It's like that weird, it's a weird thing. But I love it. I love that moment. And then the Doctor just, no final words needed. She's happy now. He just walks back off with Donna.
And that's all he wanted. He only wanted her to be happy.
And she will be with a Doctor.
And she will be. And, like, that's just so well done, you know? It's just like, damn, you wrapped that up so perfectly. I can't believe that.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, you're right. That was a perfect way to wrap up Rose's time on the show. This felt like a proper conclusion.
Did.
And then we got to the other bittersweet moment where Donna was like, "Okay, let's go. Let's keep going. We got more places to go, more travels to see." And then she starts to collapse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the mind is I guess
Yeah,
the
the shenanigans.
it's too much for her mind.
She had to wipe. She needed a mind wipe and blight Donna.
Yeah, that fucking sucks.
I know.
Like, she forgot everything. Like, she has not. I mean, she kind of went too eagerly back into her normal life, I guess, because like she just looked at her.
Well, I think that was part of it. Like the characterization is still there. She still like has the growth from it. She still like learned a lot on those. She just doesn't remember. So she still has like, I get. I don't want to say she still has the wisdom, but it's just like somewhere deep inside her, she is satisfied,
Well,
and
where
so
she's
is the
at.
doctor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And you know what? Like,
Mhm.
I can't think of a better way to end it. You know, like it was neat. It was different. I liked it.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, because we knew, like you and me, we both knew, like, yeah, she was a one series companion. So, and
Yeah.
the way she discussed this series is like, oh, I'm never gonna leave the guy. I mean, not on my own choice, and like this makes sense. Like this wasn't her choice. She has to forget and like start beginning to live her life again.
Mm-hmm.
Ironic, sadly, without any memories of like the adventures she had, which fucking sucked. But
Yeah.
but hey, the doctor was right. She technically saved multiple worlds.
Yeah.
She did. That was on her, and she did a valuable service to everyone. And she saved billions of lives. And sure, she has to lose her memory of it, but hey, she still saved lives, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the end of the journeys. That's why I said, like, because we discussed this earlier in this review series, like how we're going to tackle on the specials. Like, should we just tackle?
I see why you didn't want to talk about the specials, because we've been doing this for like an hour and a half.
No, yeah, no. Well, no, I mean besides that, I meant like this episode felt like the natural conclusion to the series 4 story. This
was the natural conclusion.
This was. I mean, tackling on the special would have been easier for us, but like, no, this was narratively. This was the end of the story.
Yeah.
Whatever the specials tie on next, they're going to be their own separate stories.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I can't wait to talk about. But overall, I think they wrapped this up very nicely.
It's gonna be a short episode, though. To be fair,
well, it's fine. We need a little bit of a break. I mean, we just went I think we're about to go for 2 hours on this point. So.
Oh my god, I'm very tired.
I'm
sorry, guys. The show is really good.
This series was really awesome. So again, fantastic ending. Really, kind of real in the majority of David's run, he wrapped it up fairly well.
If you want to drop it here, I understand. Not to you, Joseph. You're never going to stop.
I can't. We're reviewing this till the end of time. Is What's on the Tube still a show in 2025? We're still going to review Doctor Who.
Yes, but anybody watching this who is wondering, like, if you want to stop. If you don't want like a very big shakeup in the series, because that's what's going to happen. You're going to get a new showrunner, and the show is going to completely change its status quo. You got a little taste of it in this series with Silence in the Library, but if you're not interested, then like this is the perfect conclusion.
Mm-hmm. No,
so there you go.
Right there. So George, before we get to let's get to our usual ring, because I can tell we need to go. Let's rank the companions. We got Donna Noble. Right now we have number 1, Rose Tyler. Number 2, Martha Jones. Where do we fit Donna Noble in our companions ranking?
Donna Noble, in my opinion, comes at. Actually, she's tied with Martha.
Do you think she's a little bit better?
Either underneath Martha.
What?
Or tied with her. Yeah.
Really? She is much better than Martha.
I don't know, man.
I know she's annoying. I know that. But she demonstrates, like, she's not another Rose copy, or she's just like not another Rose. She does something.
Yeah, but they make a big deal out of that. That's what bothers me about it. She's not a Rose copy, and that's cool. But they make a big deal out of that. And that I don't like.
I don't know, man. I'm still convinced that
that's just me, though.
Donna's better than Martha, I think. I mean, we're allowed to disagree on some things. We're allowed to.
I mean, you agree with most of the fan base. Well, rather, most of the fan base agrees with you on this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the weird category.
Mm-hmm. Well, to be honest with you, when we talked about Donna in the series 2, you briefly gave me a little bit of a peek on her character. I was expecting her to be like the Office character, where she was just annoying. She was just like a bother to everyone. I thought, oh, that's probably the actress's staple, Now, so I'm going to watch Doctor Who, and it's going to be the same thing. But it wasn't. It was still elements of that. I'm not denying she's not annoying, but she had a lot of more positive character growth and a lot of positive, more development in her own attributes.
Yeah, that's the thing, and that's what kept me watching this series. Aside from the high quality stories, like I didn't hate her. She's just annoying.
That's the one thing you keep taking away. She's just annoying.
Yeah. At the end of the day, that's the most that Donna amounts to me.
Alright, fine.
It's like, yeah, she had great moments. She was really cool, but like, I don't know. To be fair, though, I am more of a fan of Stephen Moffat's run on the series, Like, I love the way that he handled companions, personally.
Well, we'll get to them eventually. So, I guess right now on the overall ActionX list, number 1, Rose Tyler. And number 2, tied for now, it's Donna and Martha. Tied.
Mm-hmm.
But on our own personal list, we have different rankings. We'll talk about more of that when we reach the end of this overall series review. Should we rank a villain? Like, is Davros really, like, can we rank him? Or is he, like, kind of like...
Why not? Yeah, let's rank Davros in there.
All right, so number 1, the Master. Where do we put Davros? Let's put him number 2, flat out.
Really?
I love the Master. The Master was awesome. Davros was cool, but I think the Master is just more.
But like I'm saying, like villain or villains.
Well, the overall big bad list. Davros is.
Oh, okay. So I was gonna say you're putting him over the Cybermen. I was like, shit.
No. Like those are like villain. I mean, like Davros.
Okay.
Davros is like a villain.
Like
a big bad.
Okay.
Because he kind of had an overall big bad scheme throughout the series.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
So you want to just agree? Number 2, Davros. Number 1, the Master.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Master's just cool.
But let's like say overall though, like number 1, the Master. Number 2, the Cybermen. If we're talking about all villains.
Oh no, we're just talking about like the big bads, like the big leaders, like the big threats. Yeah, they would just so. All right, right now current rankings: number 1, the Master. Number 2, Davros. Now we're wrapping it up. The series ranking. Currently, it's number 1, Series 1. Number 2, Series 2. And then number 3, Series 3. Where are we putting Series 4?
Number 1.
Fuck yeah, it does. It does. Fuck yeah. Oh, no, wait. I fucked up the ranking. Number 1, Series 2. Number 2, Series 1. Number 3, Series 3. Yeah, no, still, no matter what, Series 4 is by far the better series. Like, they just... Oh man, we geeked out about this whole series for like currently our longest runtime yet on the show.
Yeah,
like that's how much we love this series, and
I know,
like between River's song and then seeing the daughter of the Doctor and seeing the finale, it's like all of these elements were just enough to like push it over the top over series 2 for me.
Russell T Davies really outdid himself this time.
Mm-hmm. You think he didn't top himself over Series 2, but he did it again. And this was like kind of like the best way for him to end it off his 4-series run.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we still have to see a little bit more of him, but we're not just quite done with him yet. But no, in terms of like an overall full series run, he did a fantastic job on this. But yeah, I mean, I guess all we can say, George, is that Series 4 is by far the best series of the revival run thus far in our current review show. You probably are going to say again, like, wait till we get to Moffat.
Yeah. But I have patience. We're going to get there, guys, overall, Series 4 is not the best. In my opinion. It's not my favorite one.
But we'll get there.
But it is a pretty fucking close second, though.
Well, I mean,
you know what I mean?
No, yeah, I know what you mean. Like, eventually we're going to see a way better series, and I can't wait to get there. But for now, it's the best.
But that's just in my opinion, though. It's just like, I just love Stephen Moffat's run that much.
Mm-hmm.
For a lot of people, this is as good as it gets.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So right now, our final rankings for now. Series number 1, Series 4. Number 2, Series 2. Number 3, Series 1. And dead last for now, Series number 3. Let us know in the comments below. What did you think of Series 4?
Surprisingly, despite how good the finale was for Series 3, it is the least best.
Yeah. I mean, they're all still good, but it's just right now that's kind of like where we're ranking it.
Yeah.
But let us know in the comments below. What did you think of Series 4? Share with us your comments, your anything you want to talk about Series 4, believe me, we love it. We'll be in the comments below. We're always there.
Yes, please. I want to talk to you guys. I really want to talk to you guys in the comments. I'd love to.
Mm-hmm. But Joe, any last closing thoughts about Series 4 before we wrap it up for the night?
I'm really tired.
That's it. No, like Doctor Who Series 4. Final comment from Jordan. I'm really tired. Okay. Yeah, I know you had a long day. I kind of had a restful day, so I know we're kind of in the reverse camp on today.
I had I went into work today an hour earlier than I was supposed to because I thought I was supposed to. Turns out I didn't have to. My boss was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry," and I was just like,
"Cool,
okay,
let me sleep."
Great.
I'm gonna sleep in the break room.
We don't have a break room.
Wow, your place sucks. You need a break.
Yeah.
You need a break room.
Nah, I like my job.
No, I'm just saying, like, you need a break room.
I know. It's just like, oh, God, so tired.
No surprise. Anyway, Jory, before I wrap up our usual rigmarole, pimp out your shit while I go, I don't know. I'm just going to sit here and just watch you pimp out your shit.
You guys know it. Typical Campus is online webtoon every other Wednesday. Well, for a while we had like a big celebration of the series comeback, but we're right back to the regular schedule. For a while we're gonna have we're still gonna have some Corona/quarantine themed episodes because I can't help but make fun of this pandemic and it's fun. So yeah, check out Typical Campus. Also, I'm doing some Tetris related stuff. I've been commentating for some Tetris tournaments. I know that sounds really funny, but trust me, competitive Tetris is a real thing. And it's a lot of fun. You should definitely watch some of them. I'm sure I'll link some of that stuff in the comments.
I'll put it in the description. You just send me the link.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, go support George on Webtoon and support him in his Tetris commentation career, whatever you want, whatever the commentators call that career.
My Tetris career. It's a fun community. I just like to be active in it. Know what I mean?
No, I know exactly what you mean. So
yeah,
don't worry about that. So if you've been unaware, everyone, this has been What's in the Tube, reviewing every Doctor Who series. If you want to know what we're doing overall, What's in the Tube besides our Doctor Who series review, we're also doing every Arrow season reviewed. Me and Sal, whenever the hell that's going to happen, we're reviewing all the seasons of Arrow. Where we've had some growing pains on that. I don't know when the season 4 review is going to go live, but it should be at some point before Christmas. I'll say that much. Will we reach season 5 before the end of the year? I don't know. That's a big question mark. I just want to watch Arrow.
Whenever we get to it, like it'll be there
eventually. But we already have the first 3 reviews up if you want to go check them out already.
It'll be there on
every Tuesday. Oh, every other Tuesday.
I'm talking about Doctor Who. Where can you watch it?
I gotta finish the other stuff before I get back to Doctor Who. That's how my rigmarole goes.
God damn it, Joey.
Every other Saturday. Damn you, George. Stop ruining my rigmarole. I know you're tired and delirious, but come on. I have a system here. I've been doing it for 140-something episodes already.
You are so OCD with this.
We also do quick impressions, so whenever we don't have a Doctor Who review or a Arrow review, we have one of these, whether I'm reviewing something from my past or something I watched during quarantine. You can go check them out. I think the last one I posted was Gravity Falls or something. I don't know anymore. But if you only care about Doctor Who, then you're in luck. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We will be reviewing the 3 of the 4 knocks of David Tennant's final specials, leading into the day before Christmas. Our Day, what's the title of the last special? Day of the Doctor, or am I jumping the gun on that?
No, you're jumping the gun. The
End of Time.
Next time we get to you, we will discuss the 4 specials. They're pretty fun. It's going to be a bit of a simple episode. It'll be pretty short, but after that, we have
the End of Time.
The End of Time.
Yeah, that'll be its own standalone review. That will be going on. That'll be going live before Christmas.
It won't be as long as this.
Yes,
trust me.
This is the last of the long ones before we start Series 5 at some point in 2021. Yeah. But for now, that's kind of where our schedule is. So we'll be back in 2 weeks for the 3 of the 4 knocks, and then after that will be the End of Time special review, and then after that we're done with part 1 of our review series. We're not going anywhere yet. But again, if you're unaware, this has been What's in the Tube from ActionX. If you want to see more of What's in the Tube, specifically our Doctor Who content, subscribe to ActionX on YouTube.com. Ring the bell for notification when our next review is live. Like, favorite, share if you want to, but it does help us out, get us out there to new people watching our shows, as well as follow us on Twitter and eventually on Twitch whenever I'm free to stream. I don't know. I've been busy. Again, follow George online on Twitter. Support him on Typical Campus. Support his Tetris commentation career. But until next time, for all you Whovians, stay safe out there. Be good to each other, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Peace out.
See you guys.